Doors! Doors! Not the hard candy. I need to get myself a new pair of shoes. Oh, sweet ride, baby. Let's go get us some shoes.
But Grandpa, you lost your license 30 years ago.
Fine, I'll walk then!
Hey, young lady, can you tell this here old man where to find the running store? Oh, thank you very much, Sonny.
Hey, young lady, I was wondering if you could help an old man here find some shoes with good arch support.
Yo, what up, Gramps? You know, I got two shoes that I think would be a really good fit for you. But first, I want you to watch this special homemade video.
All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Zach, and this is my buddy Sam, and welcome back to our second shoe review on the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different than our Triumph video. Today we're going to be comparing the Bondi 8s, the Hokas, versus the New Balance More V4s, the Fresh Foams. So Sam here is a little bit more experienced when it comes to the Bondi, having worn it for several months at a time.
Yeah, so I ran in the Bondi 7 for about 8 months, close to a year. So I know a pretty good amount of information about how the Bondi runs and all of its, quirks and features that it has. And then Zach here has been running pretty consistently in the older More, so we're kind of pretty primed to talk about each one of the shoes as far as they fit running-wise. For both of our styles, we run similar mileage and do this, similar sort of training.
Yeah, we're on similar terrain, and we have similar gaits and whatnot and so forth. So like you just said, the most recent pair that I bought is the More 3s, which I have noticed after having worn the 4s around. They are quite similar, but there also are some differences in there. And overall, I think it's safe to say that the Bondi and the More are pretty similar shoes.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really any other shoe on the market that is similar to these in the way that they are high cushion, and we're talking high cushion above most max cushion shoes here as far as the amount of foam underneath the foot. The stack height is about 34.5 millimeters on the new More, which is, a ridiculous amount of foam underneath the foot. And, they're kind of two comparable shoes to each other. They both have the same heel-to-toe drop. So, yeah, basically, I guess we'll just start off talking about the new More. I'm a little more excited about this one.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's fair to say that I'm also pretty biased when it comes to this shoe. I'm very optimistic about where the technology with this shoe is going, especially in comparison to the Hokas. Most especially because when I wear the Hokas, my foot's a bit too wide and I get poked in that medial range towards the heel. So great shoe nonetheless, but me personally, it's not exactly my shoe. Whereas in the More, I don't feel that poking sensation back there where it can get a little uncomfortable. And like Sam just mentioned, the stack height is a little bit higher. I think they raised it just a millimeter. So nothing too crazy, nothing you're going to really notice. But the cushion is a huge difference if you want to go into that.
I mean, the differences in the foam, both of these shoes have an EVA foam, but this is just like a pure example of like how an EVA foam is formed can be such a difference in how the shoe feels. So the Bondi, for me, at least as far as I've run in it, it starts off pretty stiff. It does get a little softer as you break it in. This one squishes a lot more under the foot. I mean, it's a really good, feeling shoe when you're running. I'd say this one's much more runnable than the Bondi is, though in the most recent generation, they've definitely made this shoe more runnable as opposed to being, a shoe that you can stand in or work in or something like that. But the More is an amazing feeling shoe. Like he's talking about, I also get it. We call it at our store the Hoka Poke. It pokes you right here in the medial, like on the medial side of your foot, And it's really weird. I mean, I've had a lot of customers, this is our best-selling shoe at our store. I've had a lot of customers complain about that. On this shoe, it doesn't happen. It just feels really nice underneath the foot. And I feel a lot more springy, and like this shoe has almost like more of a sole than the Bondi does. It's just a lot more happy underneath the foot when you're running. But yeah, that's kind of my take on the More as compared to the Bondi.
Yeah, and not to like harp too much against the Bondi, it is a phenomenal shoe. There are a few things about the More that I actually think the Bondi does better. For one, I think the Bondi actually has better traction. I have done a little bit of running in this shoe, and I feel like I'm less prone to slip on like some wet terrain or whatever, like if I'm walking on rocks or running on rocks. I'm not really going to roll my ankle as easily. And also in the More, I feel like for some people at least, it could be a little too soft. The Bondi is definitely a bit more firm, which could actually be a good thing. It really just comes down to preference. So once again, they added a lot of foam here.
As far as another thing uppers are concerned about on these shoes, they increased the toe box width very slightly on the new version, and also it's almost like the 1080, not as aggressive though. It has a slightly stretchy upper here, which is really breathable, really nice. The Bondi's upper, it's kind of very similar to the older one. It isn't like, a horrible upper or anything like that. I really do enjoy the upper on the More. It's really soft around the heel collar, nice heel countering here and everything like that, but the toe box area and the rest of the upper just feels really nice and breathable and stretchy and all that good stuff.
And another thing about the toe box on the More, especially since I've been running in the 3 once again, I have noticed that they did make the toe box a bit wider, which is actually the opposite of what Hoka did with the Bondi, where if you wore the version 7 of it, it was a wider toe box, and in the Bondi 8, it's a bit more narrow, so that might be a bit more geared towards you if you're running. They also made a change with the price of the More.
Yeah.
So the More 3 was, I believe, $165.
Yeah, it was
a
right on
full-price
the
shoe.
same amount basically as the Bondi was. It's crazy that they took this shoe and now it's $150. So you save $15 on this shoe over the Bondi, which is $165, which is yet another thing I like more about the More. Just the price difference. You're getting a better shoe, honestly, for a cheaper price. Overall, at least what I would say is between the two, I prefer the More. I think they out Hoka on this one big time, and it's just a really good iteration of this shoe. Improvements on the 3. New Balance has been doing the right stuff with their shoes recently. I really like the 1080, and this is another really good shoe by New Balance.
Version 3 of the More really was a huge step up from the previous versions as well, and for them to take it one step further from that and make an even better shoe is a big deal. Overall, these are both very clunky shoes, so don't be expecting to go out there and run some crazy PR, but if you're looking to do a long run or just some easy run, like 3 miles just to shake out or something like that, at a nice, slow, easy pace, great shoes for you, and they're built to last, and they're really exciting. So
yeah, either one you can definitely stand in, do work in. Old people will like them.
Thanks so much for tuning in to shoe review number 2.
Alrighty, see you guys.
Man, those look like a great fit for you.
Thank you so much, young lady. These have been amazing. They feel so good. So how much is this gonna be?
$150.
Thank you so much. You've been a great help. I appreciate all your help today, young lady.